Draft Chaff. Coming up this week. No way, I don't know you were into Captain Disillusion.
Who isn't into Captain Disillusion?
Oh my god, he's Disillusion.
Man, we're like the same person.
Who designed this card? Why does it look like this? This has never happened before. It's performance anxiety, I guess.
Performing, yeah, the way it just didn't feel like coming out into the cage. That's what it was.
What's up, aficionados? Welcome back to Draft Chaff. This is episode 227. I'm Ben, one of your hosts, and joining me on the line is Tyler. I'd love to hear your voice, but I think I want to hear your keyboard.
Oh, we're gonna jump right into the ASMR. I got a brand new
right
keyboard, and it's creamy.
Wow.
I go to work and have like one of those crappy like wireless keyboards that you get in the office, and I'm like, all I can think about is going home and typing on my nice creamy keyboard.
Can you BYO keyboard? Is that allowed or no?
I totally would, but then you'd be like that like jerk who has like a mechanical keyboard in the middle of the office, and I'm like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, folks, dear listener, we've got a bit of a grab bag today. It's been 2 weeks. We had an episode off. Life did its thing, and well, we're back, and it's time to catch up on everything that we've missed in the meantime, including some, Tarkir spoilers. There's been some RCQ stuff. We've both been jamming some standard. I know it's limited podcast, but we've been playing some Draft Chaff. I've been jamming some Draft Chaff in standard, and actually in Pioneer too. There's a lot to talk about, but before we get into that, a couple introductory reminders. If you are not yet in our Discord, why not? What are you doing? It's the best place to see trophy decks, to post what's the pick questions, to talk all things Magic the Gathering with us, or things not Magic the Gathering. We post all sorts of nonsense in there. We're always happy to see what's going on in our community. And honestly, it's made us some of the best people we've met on the internet so far. So big shout out to the Draft Chaff Discord. It's a lot of fun in there. We have a giveaway winner to announce. It's been a little bit, but this was our giveaway from a couple weeks ago on Blue Sky. And it was open to anyone who liked and retweeted and followed the usual, Blue Sky algorithm. We're happy to announce that the winner of our giveaway of a full booster box of Duskmourn is robotized. Robotized? A
lot of options here.
Yeah, well, they have both O's, like capitals, so I don't really know how that works. Robotized could be the emphasis, or robotized. I don't know. In any case, robotized, we'll be in touch via a Blue Sky if you're hearing this first, or if you've already seen it there. And congrats to them for you're gonna get a Duskmourn booster box mailed to you. So I'll be in contact about all that information. As always, a huge thank you to our patrons. Y'all keep the show going the way it is. You help fund the stuff that we do, including our editing software, which, you ever notice that all editing software is like monthly subscription based now?
What isn't monthly subscription based at this point? I was just talking to you about in the pre-show. I signed up for this monthly coffee subscription service where they send me something every month. Like, I think that's just where we live these days.
At least that's something new and consumable every month, where it's just the same program every month. It's not like they're adding to it. It's just the editing software, but it works. It's great. We use it every week. So, it's just part of the cost of running a podcast. But we thank all those on Patreon for helping subsidize those costs for us a little bit. We don't, do this for the money or the profit. So we thank everyone for your continued support over the years. Patrons, y'all are the best. We're going to skip the crack a draft type thing. Well, not so much. We're doing a crack a draft, but it's actually a crack a sealed. We have something unique for today. We would like to do a crack a sealed for the qualifier weekend play-in that's happening right now. Currently on Arena, it's at a bit of a weird time. It's currently recording on Sunday, and the qualifier play-ins, these are usually on like Fridays and Saturdays, right? I don't know why this one's on a Sunday.
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird. I was like, is it an accident they posted this? Because they've done that in the past where they put something up when they didn't mean to.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't they post an Ixalan win a box once, and then they just said, never mind.
Yeah. There was some winner box, and I like jumped into the Discord. I'm like, hey guys, look, they're putting it out. And then like people checked, and it's like not there. And I'm like, oh, I'm just an idiot.
None of that. They baited you.
Yeah, totally.
So this though is not bait. I've actually done 2 already today. I had 40 play-in points, and I just cashed them all in. I actually lost win-ins in both of them, so that kind of sucked. I had a really good black-green deck in the first one, splashing for Hazaret and for Far Fortune. And
Sounds
that
like
deck
pretty good.
felt good. Yeah, I ended up losing to a better black-green deck in the end. So that one, a little disappointed not to get there with that. And then the second one that I felt really good about was it was a Grixis sort of weird aggro-y thing with a bunch of like engine rats and the speed as the top end. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A bit of a weird take on the format, but it was like a Grixis speed deck. Lost the win and then for that too, but I think I can use some of the gems that I got from that 6K from each. I can turn that back into one more entry for our Kraken pack here. What have we got in this sealed pool? I'm hoping for like 5 green rares and nothing else really matters. How about a lumbering world wagon? Is that too much to ask?
Ooh.
Ooh. Well,
this is tough. Far Fortune End Boss is so good. That's probably one of my favorite cards in this set.
Yeah, and to go with it, a Quag Feast, the Chandra's Ignition, but my eyes immediately go to Sav for multiple reasons. Who designed this card? Why does it look like this?
I don't know. Some type of furry definitely did it, or scaly, whatever they're called when it's not.
I don't know what a frog one would be, but I mean, Samsunin, this is maybe the best card in the set, full stop. Like it's got like a 70% win rate or something. It's just not even remotely feasible, but then there's nothing else really in mono blue to go with it. Kaladin is basically a non-card. I mean, this is worse than a lot of the commons.
Yeah.
Samut is interesting, but you do have to stretch your mana a little bit to get there. I love a Salvation Engine.
I was going to say, I love a Salvation Engine too.
Yeah, but it's such a build around. If you don't do the like 15 artifacts thing, then you want to see this card if you're drafting. You want to see it like pack 3, pick 4, when you already have like 12 artifacts, and then you're like, yes, I found my lane. I got the reward from the engine. But I mean, I think the card I'm most looking forward to play here is the Sabsunin, but it's a little unfortunate there's not really a realm where I wind up with Sabsunin and these Far Fortune Quag Feast Ignition in the same deck.
Yeah, and let's see what our actual pool is, because that's really what's going to come down to here.
Wow, all right. So
definitely not in white.
We're not doing white. I mean, wow.
Which is fine.
Spot cycles, 2 tune-ups. Yeah, white. This is maybe the worst I've ever seen a single color sealed pool. Blue's looking pretty good. I'm getting higher on bounce off the further the format goes. Turns out if someone dumps like 7 mana into an exhaust ability and then you just push their Hazard of the Dunes back in their hand after that, it's like, all right, 1 mana for like 12 mana. That's a pretty good exchange. Do they have a Flood the Engine? Oh, double Roadside Blowout. That's pretty nice. Blues, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Black has got some really deep comments to it. Engine Rat, Grim Bauble, Quag Feast, they're all really good. I'm going to start just pulling some cards in that I would want to play in a final deck here. I haven't actually put one of these in my deck yet in the format, and I think that's been just fine. I don't like these roads very much.
No, as utility lands go, they're kind of like meh to me.
Yeah. I don't love Trip Up. We're not doing the artifact thing, so I'm not going to bother with the Memory Guardian, but I do think that's a good card. Engine Rat, Quag Feast. All right. Javelinier's good if you're aggro enough. Yeah. Don't like the risky shortcuts. Back on Track is a card. It's a good one. Then Archfiend.
Works really good with the Archfiend.
Yeah. I'll toss the Archfiend in there. All right. Red. What have we got? I don't like the dive very much. I do like a Road Rage.
Yeah. I like a Gilded Goda.
I love Gilded Goda. Its stats on 17 lands do not agree with my feelings for it.
Gilded Goat.
Oh, yeah. Wow, red is a little thin, although Thunderhead Gunner and Ignition would be reasons to go in. I just love this art. It's so good.
Oh, I agree. Totally.
Now, green is where we really want to see some action.
I'm not liking what we're seeing so far.
This is not good. Where are all the Scurryfoots? Where are the runovers? We got
Where's
one.
Anything?
Yeah, not even a Gibberic Omnivore. I'm not stoked about Bestow Greatnesses. Oh, double Autarch Mammoth? Hold up. Now we're cooking. And a Migrating Ketrodon.
You're not going to talk about the Dune? I was going to say, I thought we loved Hazard.
We do love Hazard. Okay. A lot of multicolored cards.
Yeah,
here.
wow. What's that?
Oh, double Legorin?
Legorin, thank you. I can't read because I'm looking at your screen. I'm like trying to read the cards.
Wow. So, I mean.
Wow, this is tough.
I'm gonna kind of ignore the white ones because I feel like we're pretty far away. It's a shame that we got double Agoran.
Yeah.
These things, but I mean, there's a Gastel Thrill Seeker, a Far Fortune, and I don't love
Apocalypse. I was gonna
Apocalypse.
say I would cut Apocalypse. I would never run Apocalypse Runner.
Really, never.
I haven't found a reason. A 3 crew cost that really doesn't do anything. I mean, the lifelink could be relevant, but it just feels so out of, I don't know, vector for that vector.
Broadside, Swashbuckler. Wow, do we even have the cards to make Sabsunin playable?
I don't know. This is such a weird pool, man.
This is not the kind of pool I'd like to see. I wanted a nice, easy build, a nice, easy 3-0. Starting column. I mean, what is this deck's vector right now? Is the plan just to all right? So a vector that seems pretty strong is the ability to bounce all my opponent's stuff, double bounce off, double blowout. But then what are you doing with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I just looked at this right now, I would say we'd go Grixis just based off the card pool we have.
I agree.
But I don't. It doesn't really have a strong like vector per se.
Not at all.
No.
Wow. Yeesh. We don't even really have the discard payoffs. I wish we'd open like a monument or something. This is the perfect time. Or I've been seeing people playing push the limit. Is that it? Push the limit decks where it's like it's full throttle. It's the 7-mana sorcery that returns everything with cycling from your graveyard, and it gives it haste until end of turn. This is the sort of pool where like I would scrabble together some sort of that. But this is, I mean, Scrap Compactor might be getting in there. Ooh, this is a mess. Wow.
Yeah,
I was hoping this be an easy one, but I mean, wow, we have a ton of 3-drops. I think it might be correct to just not play green.
I mean, you could probably splash for Sab, right?
I mean, so here's the question. What would a blue-green deck look like? It would look a little weird for sure.
I don't think we have the resources for that, to be honest.
Yeah,
we're too
maybe
top
another color in. Like red allows us to get the Goda and the Road Rage in play early. So like a teamer deck would allow us to do something like this.
Thrill Seeker, yeah.
This doesn't look that bad.
No, I agree. It's better. Yeah, because bounce off lets us kind of survive. Road, like, yeah, we're gonna kind of set up an early game where we can kind of defend ourselves. I mean, this format's slow anyway, and like our top end's pretty strong. So
yeah,
as long as we get there.
A kickoff celebration, maybe.
Oh my god, so many non-creatures.
All right. So we do have a good amount of removal. So this is now where I'd look and say we can try to leverage something like the Ignition. So here's what this deck's vector could be. The bounce in the early game, you stall them out for a while. It's good that the roadside blowouts draw cards. I don't think that this deck is too interested in something like an Aether Siphon, especially when our mana is already a little messy. The Swashbuckler doesn't actually do anything. We have no vehicles in this deck at all.
But it's a 3/3 body with haste. I mean, unfortunately, I think that's just fine for now.
Yeah, that's true. What is our 1 Midnight Mangler? Yeah, 3-mana 3/3 haste. Yeah, that's true. We actually have to cut non-creatures instead.
That's my only concern. Yeah, like unfortunately, it's a good card. It's not going to do anything in this format or our deck, but we need a body.
Is this an 18 lander? I think it actually might be. Should I get 18 lands in play? That way you guarantee you hit your Hazard, you hit your Fang Guardian, you slam Sabsunin on curve. You're not worried about missing a land to hit the Autark Mammoth.
Yeah. It was Rugged Highlands our only dual land in these colors. I didn't even look.
Unfortunately, yeah. We didn't even get a Night Market. That's a bummer.
Very unfortunate.
Could this be a starting column deck?
I don't love playing it, but it does feel kind of right.
Yeah.
But it feels so bad to play that turn 3.
Yeah, when you could be playing like a roadside blowout or a Buccaneer instead. Man, all right. I think we can make a couple cuts here. I think maybe the Compactor. I kind of like the double bounce off. So Mangler is secretly a creature, so we have 14-11 right now.
It's good defender for us.
Cut 2 non-creatures. So our only hard removal is really to flood the engines. Trip Up is kind of just a bad.
Yeah, I'm fine with Trip Up going. I agree.
We've got the Ketrodon to cycle on turn 2 if we really have to, and then like double Autark Mammoth with some. We're gonna try to cheese out some games here, right? Like a Sabsunin, draw a bounce off, bounce their threat, play an Autark Mammoth, attack next turn, Ignition to kill all their stuff. I mean, Ignition plus Sabsunin is pretty sick. You could, I don't know, if you could somehow get your Autark Mammoth big enough and then Ignition. Could it be cutting a kickoff celebrations to make our mana a little more reasonable in the early game?
Probably. I think that's a smart cut here.
Yeah.
This deck just doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't. But that's sealed sometimes. You got to make the best of it. And I do think we're playing our power. I mean, roadside, broadside barrage, the road rage, the early game defensiveness. Like, if they try to do anything in the early game, we're not going to let it happen.
And our late game is pretty strong. Like, once we get there, I feel like we're fine.
Yeah, I mean, Sabsunin, there's a reason this card has a 70% win rate. It wins the game by itself, regardless of, for better or for worse, it invalidates basically everything that happened previously in the game, right?
That's Simic for you.
Yeah. Then there's like Fang Guardian. Yeah, we can choose out some wins with this deck. I don't know. Ugh. Maybe not the ideal sealed pool, but I've definitely seen worse. Oh, I meant to look at the mana base real quick. What do we think about this as is? It's the devil's mana base, as they say, the 6/6/6.
Yeah.
Actually, we were talking about going up to 18.
What would you get rid of to put the extra 18 in here, though?
Man, that's tough. So we're doing something like this. To go to ramps.
Goda's not going to. Yeah, like we're never going to be able to get Goda going like crude turn 2.
Do we care about Surveyor at all?
I mean, not really. It's just a creature again.
This is like a control deck. I think honestly, the Goda is probably the cut.
That feels bad.
It does, but
we have like no creatures till turn 3.
Yeah, but we have interaction. We have the we have the road rage. We can't use the run over. You see, this is where like the Scurryfoot or a Sacklagak would be huge. This deck we just didn't open them, right?
I love a huge Sacklagak, I gotta say.
Yeah, I know. We love a big. I'm gonna stop myself. I think this actually might be an 18 lander. I think that having the roadside blowouts to kind of churn through our deck, hit our land drops, slam a Thunderhead Gunner, slam a Hazard, slam a Sabson. I mean, these reach creatures just stabilize so well.
Yeah.
And then an Autarch Mammoth plus a bounce off, like you just cheese out the win from there. I think this is the deck.
I mean, this is a late game format, and this is what we built the deck around. So I think this is kind of our best option.
Yeah. And maybe once in a while we'll get to Fearless Swashbuckler, Midnight Mangler, and draw 3, discard 2. That could be kind of hot, but all right. I'll let the Discord know how this deck goes. I'm not super confident in it, but first on our list of potpourri grab bag items here, I got a birthday gift a while back from my girlfriend Mia, who's been on the show. She's an honorary co-host at this point, I think. Expert Magic the Gathering player. She recognized that Hazard of the Dunes was a great card. She was working behind my back for I don't know how long. I think actually you might be the one to clue us in on that here. She was working on behind my back, collaborating with my friends, keeping this all top secret, and they all did too. Making custom Magic the Gathering cards of me. This is one of the best gifts I've ever gotten, ever. She told me that going in. She was like, it's going to be a hard bar to surpass in the future, but I think we just have to talk about these because you played a significant role in making these. What happened? What did she like text you or something?
Well, so apparently she like reached out to me on Instagram, and I deleted all my social media. Like I'm not on social media anymore. And
delete your Insta with the good bird pictures.
Yeah, whatever. Birds exist in nature. They don't need to be on Instagram. That she somehow found my Discord. I don't know how she found it, but that's where she got to me. It was through Discord. And then we I mean, I don't know if you want to show the audience. We can kind of go through them.
I think it's time to pull them up
too. Yeah. She's like trying to like brainstorm like what would Ben want? And of course, knowing Ben, we have Thraben Inspector.
So this is funny. All right. So right here, right over my shoulder, I have my giant frame, like Thraben Inspector that I won at the CubeCon last year. So I love this card. I obviously play 4 of it in any deck that I can, in any format that I can. Mostly being Boros Convoke and Pioneer. That's really the best home it sees, but also in like Vintage Cube and stuff in any cube. I'm always jamming Thraben Inspectors. And it's a bit of a calling card for me at this point because it's Thraben Inspector. Obviously, Thraben is a township in Gavany or whatever. But still, I thought this was a funny one. So it sounds like what happened was our good friend Julia, friend of the show, an artist who's done all of our stickers for the show, she digitally replaced Thraben Inspector's face with my own.
I love it.
Just sick. So I'm now inspecting Thraben. That's pretty cool. But this is Thraben Inspector. Everyone already knows it. The real card here is the Scientist and the Mystic. A bit of a sort of like a partner card. It's one of the I don't know. There's definitely been a cycle before where there's two creatures on one card.
Yeah,
right? What
yeah.
am I
Especially we
thinking?
had like March of the Machines did that, a lot of that.
Oh God, I'm choking.
You get choked up, but the cards are getting to you, Ben.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, you're right. March of the Machine was when we had like Hidetsugu and Kairi, for example.
Tag teams.
Yeah, so this was a tag team card, and I think it's actually pretty appropriate. My girlfriend and I think we have like the kind of black-white color identity down. I don't know, it just feels very us, It's a little spacey, a little mystical. Orzhov is actually my favorite color pair of all time, I think. And
these are things we discussed. She was like, "What's Ben's favorite color?" And then we kind of talk about color theory and things like that. And then we talked about some of these evergreen abilities, and I was like, "Prowess feels very teacher-like to me." So it's kind of the reason we went for that. Is this a Captain Disillusion text too at the bottom? Like
it is.
I just read that for the first time. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that was on there too. It's funny.
No way. I don't know you were into Captain Disillusion.
Who isn't into Captain Disillusion?
Oh my God,
Captain Disillusion. Man, we're like the same person. The more we
are. I'm honestly not surprised at all, but I do love finding that kind of thing out. Captain D, I've loved his channel ever since I discovered it, however many years ago.
Me
and
too.
It's just
Before he blew up.
better.
Yeah. He just doesn't post enough. That's the only thing.
Oh God, I'm sure it takes him like a year to make a video. I can't imagine like the level of editing that he does. It's just so.
He's got to
good.
have people. He has that intern, or whatever.
Oh man, listener, I think we would both highly recommend that you go take a listen to Captain Disillusion.
Yes.
Just a great channel. And yeah, that's a Captain Disillusion quote, and it's actually my email quote from my teacher email. So every teacher email is signed with that at the bottom, in addition to like my usual content information. So it's one of my favorite quotes. I feel like it embodies a lot of what I like. The quote, for those that aren't seeing the current visual on the screen, is "Love with your heart, use your head for everything else." And that is the flavor text on this card. And man, so it's a 4-mana 1/2 hexproof prowess. I don't know about passing the vanilla test, but
yeah. We didn't go too. I was hoping she was going to add like an extra ability or something, but it's okay. Yeah. It's still a beautiful card. The artwork's amazing, and I think it captures you too perfectly.
I think it really does. And so that jacket that I'm wearing, it's my beloved NASA jacket that actually Mia smartly recommended that I buy. I was sort of wavering back and forth. I bought it at the thrift store in Denver, and it's a sick jacket. It's like a bomber jacket. It's got like all these NASA patches on it. And I was like, it's like kind of wore him out. I don't know if I want to carry it back. But it's since become a very me. I'm always wearing it in the cold. And artist Julia has transformed it into sort of like a mystic's robe with these like. So it's typically just like a bomber jacket, but now it's like a full on like. You see how the sleeves sort of like splay out at the end there. And you can kind of see in the behind the text, it kind of goes down to my legs too. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Great work. I love how they came out.
Yeah. I obviously love this card. I have a picture of it showing here, but I have them framed on my wall right now. Both of these. Big shout out to artist Julia as well for doing these. These are just incredible. And thank you, Tyler, for your work helping me behind the scenes for this. She had a very hard time keeping it a secret, I'll say. And
I'm sure.
I can understand why.
I'm one of those people, like, as soon as I buy my wife a gift, I'm like, you want to know what I bought you? Like, I can't hold it in. So kudos to her for holding on.
Yeah. A couple times I actually told her, I was like, no, please don't tell me. I want to be surprised. And I'm glad I waited, because this is such a payoff. Like, this is incredible. Next up in our potpourri, you've been playing Standard?
A little. So I'm not playing meta. I love the Boros token deck. And I just love how that plays. So it's definitely not metagame, but I'm having a good time with it. I'm not a constructed player by any means, but I don't know. There's something special about that deck to me.
That's the thing, though. That deck is good right now.
I love it. It's so like not Boros. I don't know. There's something special about it. But you're playing some metagames though, aren't you?
Oh, I am. I'm fresh off my 2/2 drop at the RCQ today.
Nice. Showing up.
Oh yeah. Now I didn't represent the podcast super well, but to my credit, I think I hit some really bad variants today where I actually had some options. I have a couple standard decks built right now. I have the tools to make black green, the kind of mid-range junk deck that it's a Mosswood Dread Knight deck, and then you can put whatever else you want in it. That's the real reason to play it, I think. That and a couple of the cards like oh shoot, what's that 2/4 vampire from Ixalan? What are the attacks? A bunch of stuff happens.
Dude, you're gonna I have no idea, Ben. I don't play standard.
Well, basically that and Sentinel of the Lost City or Nameless City, whatever. The 3/4 for 3. Anything with 4 toughness for 3 mana is really good right now because Nowhere to Run is such a ubiquitous card and just standard right now overall. There's so many decks that are playing This Town Ain't Big Enough, in addition to 4 copies of Nowhere to Run, in addition to 4 copies of Storm Chaser's Talent. And that kind of 12 card backbone makes up a good amount of the blue-black decks and the pixie decks that exist right now. And the ability to recur a 2 mana -3/-3 is just so brutal that anything without 4 toughness is just not long for the battlefield. So I thought about playing black-green, but opted against it. Convoke is pretty good because what's good against a 2 mana give target creature -3/-3 is 1 mana make 3 tokens. And then what do your single target removal spells really do? So that was another option, but I decided to go with my heart, which was telling me to play Green-White Collector's Cage.
I was going to say, that's been your bread and butter this standard season.
Oh, I fell in love with Collector's Cage, and unfortunately, Collector's Cage is playing hard to get. It hasn't quite fallen in love back with me yet. I'm still working out the kinks of this one, but today I played Cage. I actually played Bant Cage. I'm playing blue for Mockingbird because Gearhulk can fetch a creature, artifact, enchantment, or land with creature, artifact. Let's say this again. Gearhulk can fetch a creature, artifact, or enchantment with mana value 1 or less. And that gives you this really cool toolbox suite that includes Mockingbird, which you then copy Gearhulk and then goes and gets 2 more. So every time you do this, you go and get, like, at least in parity, you get a Mockingbird and then some other thing like a Paw Patch Recruit. You can get Swiftfoot Boots, basically, Lava Spur Boots, but same thing. You can go and get any of the funny little graveyard hate pieces like Ghost Vacuum or Totem, whatever the totem is, the totem thing. The thing that exiles a card and then you crack it to exile their whole graveyard. There's a lot of good one-offs like that. Haywire Might against the artifact and enchantment decks. Love this deck, love the way it plays out, but the glue that holds it together is the ability to go turn 1 Llanowar Elf. Turn 2, you play a 3 mana creature that makes a token. There's a couple of them. And then turn 3, you play Cage, activate it. So Cage has Hideaway 5. You're supposed to put an Overlord of the Mistmoors under it because that's like a 7 mana. I win the game. It ETBs as a 6/6. It makes 2/1 flyers. So the joke is they're playing their 3rd land and doing who cares what. On their end step, you put a counter on a thing, you free cast this Sun Titan-like thing, and then you untap and win the game, basically. I didn't get to put an Overlord under Cage at all. I didn't see an Overlord in any of my Cage hits across all 4 matches that I played out.
Wow.
That's honestly the worst streak of luck I've had with this deck across any that I played with it. And like I've been playing for a while. I was like top 200 standard mythic with this. Like I was playing some serious Magic with this deck. This has never happened before. It was performance anxiety, I guess.
The way it just didn't feel like coming out into the cage. That's what it was,
I guess. And here's the worst part: even when I did manage to get like a Gearhulk under the cage, I just never got to free cast it. The game ended one way or another before it happened, and I don't think that's because it's a bad deck or it's badly positioned. It just didn't really work out that way today. Yeah. I still went 2-2. I won some matches, just not on the back of Cage. So the whole reason I went today, I'm already qualified for the RC. The whole reason I went was so that I could play a Cage, put an Overload under it, and do it on my opponent's end step. And I did get to do it once today. A little tilted about it.
All you wanted to do.
Know. It's the only reason I went in the first place. But you know what? That's standard for you.
Still got to play Magic, though. You know, what's that saying?
Paper Magic.
The worst day fishing is still better than a day at work, or something like that.
Yeah. I got to see some pretty cool decks from my opponent. I actually lost round 1 in the mirror match. They were playing straight green-white.
Oh, wow.
And they were top seed going into the top 8. So green-white
works.
Cage.
Yeah.
It works. It just didn't for me today. So Anywho, that's standard. I hope that red white deck continues to work out. What's it playing red for these days?
I mean, I haven't updated it since Aetherdrift came out, so I'm still
Mm.
running that old format. It's the one oil card that produces tokens every battle phase. Then it's like an X1 that increases with the oil counters on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a free token.
Forge.
Yeah, it's a free token generator. You get to draw the card, and it gets buffed. It's fine.
Cool.
It's fun. I know we're talking about standard. Should we talk about Final Fantasy at all, or are we kind of leaving that one out for this? Because that is a standard set, and I think Prof had a really good video come out recently talking about it. So, I mean, we don't have to delve into it. You should go check out that video if you want to hear more. But it's interesting where Magic is going.
Oh yeah. Our next bullet point was actually hat sets, and
yeah,
that's sort of a problem unto itself. So I guess we could boil all this down to we've got these Universes Beyond sets coming out pretty soon. Final Fantasy, I'm holding out that they can make it still feel like Magic because I don't know much about Final Fantasy myself, but they did a pretty good job with like Lord of the Rings and D&D.
No, and those were great sets, like really fun sets. And I think my biggest concern here too is like the cards could be great. I think my issue now is that it comes down to the prices for these sets. I don't know if you've seen the MSRP for some of these things for standard sets.
It's not good.
It's not great at all. It's alienating,
Yeah.
What especially where standards
$7 packs.
$7 packs, and and like you're spending like I forget what it was. Like if you buy 4 of the collector, whatever commander decks, it's like $1,300. And it's like those aren't standard, obviously, but this is a standard set. Like the other UAB sets weren't standard.
Yeah.
The fact that this is standard and standard is such a good setting right now is just I don't know. It's an interesting path we're at right now.
What happens if there's a card in that set that because of this, like the average rare, say there's like not even the best card from the set, say there's like a good rare in the set. In most sets like Duskmourn, for example, I mean, take FOMO, right? Fear of Missing Out.
Yep.
One of the best cards. It's seeing play all the way back to Pioneer. It's seeing Cube play, might be seeing play in older formats than that, but it's a standard all-star right now. You can pick it up for like $6. It's a rare. What happens when you have the equivalent in a set where the packs cost 30% more? I can only assume those rares cost 30% more as well. Maybe even more because less people are going to be opening the packs because they cost more. I mean, I'm not going to draft a set if it costs like $30 to draft.
And it's Universes Beyond too. So I'm not incentivized to open it because I just don't care about Final Fantasy. So
exactly.
I just don't think people are going to be cracking these as much. So I don't know. I'm curious to know what's going to happen. I'm fine with I don't love UB, but if they're going to keep them, at least keep them out of standard. Or keep them in secret layers. We have SpongeBob coming out now too.
Oh god, so. That's something else. I mean, then again, when Avatar is main set legal, then I'll be like, well, okay. But even then, it will feel a little wrong if it's like, oh, what are you sleeving up this weekend for the RCQ? Oh, Mono Angs. Sure.
Dude, my Toph is coming out. But thankfully, we do have a set to look forward to that feels like Magic again, I gotta say, from what we've seen so far. We're going back to Tarkir.
So this set, this is the antithesis to the hat set. And what I was thinking recently about Aetherdrift, which as far as gameplay goes, it's pretty fun. I do like the way Aetherdrift plays. Look, that seal deck we just opened, it's not bad. Like, I'm gonna have fun playing it. But the more I think about the cards in it, Gas Guzzler, right? Boom Mobile.
Road Rage.
Run Over. How many cards in that set would you change to make it into an unset? Like 10% maybe? Changes, and then
all you have to do is add a silver border to most of these cards, and it's there.
Yeah, maybe some sillier mechanics, but I don't think it needs that many edits, you know? And I don't think that's good. Whereas this set, Tarkir Dragonstorm, wow. Just the glimpses we've gotten so far. I mean, Skirmish Rhino alone tells me that we're in good hands.
Of course, I'm going to Skirmish Rhino. You couldn't not mention it.
But
this even just looking at the art, I feel like we're in Magic again. Like Tarkir's top 5 planes in the Magic universe, in my opinion. And I'm glad they're treating it with the respect I think it deserves. Like a return to format. I mean, we've only seen a handful of spoilers, but from what we have so far, that's where it feels like we're headed.
Yeah. I wish that even as they started to push into these universes beyond IPs,
Yeah.
I wish the same amount of care and love was being put into Magic IP,
Yep.
because I do care about the worlds in Magic. I care about what's happening on Tarkir, right? And I loved the video that they put out with the cultural consultants talking about the updates that they made to Tarkir over the years, talking about how with this new approach to Tarkir, they've made some really interesting stylistic updates, sort of honing in on what real world cultures had inspired each of the 5 clans
Mhm.
and how they could better represent those cultures, and not just updating some maybe questionable takes from before. I mean, the Rakshasa was one from a while back that they kind of already fixed that, and now we're getting more of those in the set, presumably. But they also were just sort of trying to flesh things out even further. So, like, take the teamer. They said based on like the specific like indigenous clothing designs that they'd seen in their research, they were starting to use like more bright colors, like bright blues and greens and reds, instead of the sort of muted tones that we had last arc here. The art looks gorgeous. I mean, not a lot of it is spoiled yet, but even just looking at some of these cards, I'm really liking just the vibe of the set. Like, look at Narset, how her sort of whole outfit is different.
Yeah, flowy. But like you look at this set, it feels like Magic. Like the last, like all the hat sets we've had in the past, you take a look at the card, and like you said, it feels like an unset, even by the art standards.
Yeah.
But like this feels like, oh my, like Storm Scale Scion. Like you look at that card and just it evokes like a visceral emotion inside. You know, like, oh, there's like a lightning bolt going on in it.
Yeah. And there's a couple sort of jokes here that pay you off for having been a Magic fan for so long.
Mhm.
So, actually, we see 4 of them on the screen, 5 right on the screen right here.
Yeah, I
So,
didn't even think about that. Callbacks, yeah.
yeah, so the callback, obviously, Skirmish Rhino is a callback to Siege Rhino.
Siege Rhino, yeah.
Baron Step Siege, I mean, the sieges were the sort of, you would pick between the cons
options,
and the dragons. And here we're actually picking between 2 of the cons, as in this set, some of the cons clans themselves are at war with each other. So here we have Abzan and Mardu seem to be at war with each other. You have to pick what side you're on.
Mhm.
And it has black-white, which are the 2 colors shared by these 2 clans. So really cool approach to those. The Storm Scale Scion is a joke referring to Morrow's Storm Scale. So, like, Mark Rosewater he calls it the Storm Scale. And it's sort of like a hierarchy of mechanics based on how likely they are to return to a set. It's called the Storm Scale because Storm is notably very high on it, because it's basically not likely to return to Standard. Storm very, very rarely shows up in Standard. But here we have Storm Scale Scion, literally scioning in Storm on a dragon, and of course it's the Storm Scale dragon. Like, it's brilliant.
And it's the Dragonstorm set.
Yeah. Smile at Death, another mythic that we have spoiled. It looks like Alesha may have passed away sometime between the 2 sets, but Alesha, who smiles at death, unsurprisingly, an enchantment called Smile at Death, it just does an Alesha trigger every turn.
Yep.
Just really great design all around here. I'm loving what we're seeing so far. And if the rest of the set has even a fraction of this amount of love and care, because these are callbacks, these are jokes, but these aren't at Magic's expense,
No.
right?
As long as there's no fedoras, cowboy hats, race cars, I will be ecstatic.
Yeah. These references, this sort of throwback callback stuff is taking itself seriously, as opposed to the hat sets, which I feel like don't.
Yeah.
Have you been reading any of the lore for Tarkir Dragonstorm?
I have not actually yet, because there hasn't been too many spoilers, so I didn't even know if there was any story out yet.
I have a feeling the spoilers are going to give away something pretty big from the story. The story is actually on episode 5 already, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, I'm behind.
Yeah, I think you should read it because I want to talk to you about it. I have some questions. If you don't want spoilers, don't look at the show notes, because let me delete it real quick. All right, it's gone. It's deleted from the show notes. But let's just say some pretty big characters have made a return, and we're finally getting a resolution to why Loot and Jace and Vraska have been showing up all over the place, and also why dragons have been showing up all over the place. Duskmourn had Scorching Dragonfire in it, and I mean, it's Duskmourn. There aren't any dragons native to the plane, but briefly in the story, Kaito stumbles across sort of like a dragon illusion nightmare thing, and everyone sort of just accepted that, I guess. But from a larger world building perspective, why would there be a dragon in a haunted house set? That was sort of like 80s themes. Why would a dragon be there? Same deal with a dragon showing up kind of at the end of Aetherdrift, although I don't think there's any cards that explicitly refer to it. Maybe some of the story spotlights mention the flavor text or something. And there have been dragons sort of showing up here and there across the last few sets. So interesting to see how they're starting to wrap it up. Let's just say there's some famous dragons from Magic's past that are coming back. But let's put a pin in it until after you've read the lore, and then we can touch upon it at a later episode. Let's hop into our Teferi and Tibble. Listener, if you don't know, this is our Roses and Thorns style segment where we address a high and a low, a Teferi and a Tibble from the past week. Tyler, how's your week been?
It's been a week. No, it's not bad. We're planning actually another trip. Our buddy Ryan's flying in for next weekend. I've been really looking forward to that.
Next weekend?
That's next weekend. You better be there. I swear if you don't be. But it'll be nice. We're going to do like a little draft weekend. It's been a minute since we've done that. It's been a minute since I've seen Ryan. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's it. Yeah, that's my rose. Tibble, I complained about this already on the podcast once. There's that pothole on the main highway near my road that's been causing traffic. And they just announced it's going to be another 2 months until I fix it.
Oh my God.
I am ready to live. It's been really bad because I have to start driving my daughter to daycare too. So it's just like another layer. It takes like an hour and a half to get to work in the morning. That is
an hour and a half. That's insane.
Oh my God, dude.
What time do you leave in the morning?
Like 7. It's not too bad. You're a teacher, so I'm sure you're there earlier than that.
No. I mean, I also leave at around 7. I get there at like 7:15, and that's when I start. But I know sometimes I'll text you at like 6:30 in the morning, and then you respond right away, and I'm like,
"Oh yeah, dude, we're up at
you're up that
5
time
at this house, 5:30."
Oh man, that's when all the birds are out, right?
Yeah, that's when you got to go see them. How's your week been, man?
It's pretty good. I guess I have that to add to my Teferi section. I totally forgot that was next weekend. I've been taking things very one day at a time, and
time's an illusion.
Yeah, sometimes I forget to look forward to what's coming up, but that's great. I am excited for that. I'm pretty sure the voting solidified. I think we landed on the Draft Chaff Cube as one of the formats, so I will update the cube accordingly. And I think we actually block. Yeah, Theros block draft. Yeah, that sounds sick.
A buddy of ours, Joe, has a ton of sets. I'm curious to know what that means though. Are we getting a pack from each? Like, is this OG Theros or is this Return to Theros? Like,
I think it's probably Theros.
Born of Gods.
One of the Gods Journey mix.
Yeah, those were awful card sets.
but think about how nice it's going to be to play with cards from that era. Like,
it's going to feel real weird.
It's going to feel real nice. So my other Teferis this week, I actually went on the school skiing and snowboarding trip yesterday, and this is my, I think, 5th time going on one of these trips, and I'm happy to announce that on my last run down the bunny hill yesterday, I did not fall once.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, I've conquered the greens. My students were actually riding down with me, a couple of them that are in my class, and I mean, they've been doing this their whole lives. I'm a noob to this. And they were crushing it, and one of them was like, "Wow, you're doing really good." And I'm like, "Don't patronize me." I'm like, "Come on, man." But that was nice of them. I finished a huge pile of schoolwork that's been sitting on my floor, so
nice.
My schoolwork is caught up for once. That being said, my Tybalt is the usual. There's just no break in sight for a while. Spring break isn't until next month, and it's just a little late this year.
Yeah,
I'm just sort of in that March-April lull is the worst time in teaching, in my opinion. Even worse than like January. It's just state testing like every week or something. Yeah, and there's not a lot of like semi weeks. Like a 3-day week, that's the best type of week to be a teacher for. So, with that, dear listener, thank you for joining us on this episode of the Draft Chat Podcast. If you're not in the Discord, do hop in there. Chat with us, all things Magic, all things draft, all things standard, if you're playing a little standard maybe. If you are a patron, we thank you as always. If you're interested in supporting the nonsense that we do here, hop on over to Patreon. There's tons of ways to support the show, including for as little as like 25 cents an episode. Make sure you're following us over on Blue Sky. We've totally abandoned Twitter at this point. It's kind of full of awful people
cesspool.
at this point. Yeah, it's nothing good happening there
Drain
anymore.
the swamp.
I do like staying on it on my personal account to keep an eye on things. I like I don't know. When something like let's just say it like this. When misfortune befalls one of these new main characters, like let's use a tame example. Let's say Tesla stock drops or the economy crashes under a certain president's watch.
Tesla.
I'm kind of happy to see it happen, you know, and there's this sort of grassroots feeling of it's all of us against them, you know. That aspect I do like.
Yeah, it's like I want to see the ship burn down. I'm going to burn down with the ship, but I kind of also just want to see it happen at this point.
yeah. We're kind of playing both sides here. We are both staying on the ship ourselves, but then we have safely secured the future of the Draft Chaff podcast on a non-Twitter platform. Blue Sky's been nice. It's just a nice Magic community there. Real positive stuff.
Definitely.
With that, dear listener, have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Happy drafting.
Bye. I love you.
For the sign off, I thought we would. Well, the first I was thinking about talking about Severance, but I'm not caught up. So
I was gonna say you're not caught up.
I guess that's kind of on me.
And I'm not caught up on Tarkir.
Well, yeah, we both have some catching up to do. I was gonna ask you, should I cut all my hair off?
Oh my! What? That's such a big move. What's the reason?
It's starting to get to me. It's starting to get to me. I don't know.
What would you go? Do a wolf cut. Like go back. Like start low.
like a shag or something like that.
Braid
I don't know. I've had a lot of different hairs throughout my life. So right now, this is what I got.
You could pull off cornrows, I think.
All right. Let's not go that far. You know, I'm not gonna buzz my head. I couldn't picture
buzzed. Yeah.
Oh god, I have horrible memories of my dad buzzing my head as a child. That was never fun.
Wait, my dad used to do the same thing. Hold on, I gotta show you a photo, dude. I look like I looked ill.
Yeah, it's not a good look for basically everyone,
especially somebody in like middle school. Like who does that to a middle school?
No, yeah, you end up just looking like a weird little head. Like heads are weirdly shaped.
Egghead.
I just watched Eraserhead last night. You end up looking like the Eraserhead baby with a shaved head. Oh yeah, no. So I don't know. There's just something about it where it just never does exactly what I want it to do. It never like fits right. It's never like the layers.
You have to manage
it.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
It's such a core Ben thing, though.
I know. It's like if I cut off my bun, who am I anymore? You know. I think that's actually like I've noticed that this is a little embarrassing to admit, but more teachers at school know who I am like by name than I know their name. And there's some reasons for that. Like I'm a relatively new hire. Like, so they announced me and all that. I am the lead singer for the teacher band, so
that helps.
I've had some eyes on me, but
you need long hair to be a lead.
But here's the thing. I think maybe the easiest way for people to remember my name is, oh, Ben has a bun. Like obviously it's in my name, Ben Bun. It's right there. So if I were to cut my bun off, would I be severing my identity from myself?
Sever?
It's intentional word choice. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't picture. I've only ever known you with long hair, Ben.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll lose you. Ben Bun.
You'll never lose me.
Oh. What would you do? Would you donate it? Would you like keep it? You can't go short, right? You gotta like gradually get there.
I would do something like medium length to long, or just something different. Mia actually gave me a gift card to like her salon for me to like go and have a professional look at, because I usually just go to like Supercuts or some nonsense like that.
You gotta go like a local guy.
Yeah, I gotta figure out. I gotta find a craftsman. You know,
last day of school, you should just shave every like beard, hair.
Oh, I've thought about it for like April Fools. I've thought about doing like having a hat on, then like I like bend down, it falls off mid class, and the kids all freak out. Like
you should make a wig of your hair, and then it falls off one day, so they thought it was fake all along.
The thought has crossed my mind, but that would be too messed up. They wouldn't be able to keep it a secret. They would tell it in the classes before it had a chance to pay off.
Kids and their cell phones.
I don't even know anymore. Did you ever have long hair, or you've always had that?
Nah, oh my god, my hair's a mess right now. I've always had this, John. I have a calic in the front. Oh my god, it's so greasy. I bet I had it all day.
Well, you're a good hat guy. You know what I mean?
No, I have a fat head.
No. So you pull off hats well. Some people just pull off hats well.
I'm a hat guy. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, my hat set?
Oh god, you're a hat.
Oh my god.